What is it that God could have done wrong that made Lucifer to leave God's church? What is it? Tell me, what is it that God could have done wrong? Whether in administration or spiritual things, what is it that made the devil to leave? But it's amazing also at some point how even before he was captured, the people that he was sent by God to deliver, they came to him. The Philistines came to the Jewish people and they said, look at what your guy is doing. He's causing a lot of chaos, a lot of havoc in this city. What can you do? Please, we want to have him bound, but can you do that for us? And it was the elders of Israel that said to the Philistines, okay, give us that responsibility. We will go to Samson, we will bind him for you, and then we will hand him over to you. So they went to Samson. They were begging him. I said, Samson, allow us to bind you so that we can deliver you into the hands of the Philistines, so that we can be free. You know, these people are too powerful. You can't be doing this. So the people that he was sent to deliver, they are now coming to capture and to bind him. That's what happens in ministry. Any group of people that is given to you by God to deliver, they'll do everything to bind your hands. Which means you have to be delivered first from the people that you need to deliver. They'll bind you. You have to be delivered first from the people that you want to deliver. That's what God said to Paul that time when he spoke to him. Remember Saul, when he was still Saul. God said to him, for I have delivered you from the people and from the Gentiles. That's what God said. He said, for I have delivered you, not from demons, from the people. There is deliverance from people. So you can never deliver people that you are not delivered from. So they came to him and said, please allow us to bind you. Your own board members will try to bind you. Your own systems, they will try to bind you. You can't go far. Unless you are liberated from their oppression, you can never liberate them. It's impossible. So finally this man was captured. Now the power is gone. And one thing that they did was to remove his eyes. His eyes were removed. Now he couldn't see. So they took him into a prison where he wasn't just sitting. They made him to grind wheat and so on. So they had found, I don't know how these people, they managed to tame the power of God for their own personal and domestic use. So it was now working for them. They were now utilizing the power of God to grind their wheat. He was blind, he couldn't see. And one day, they invited him for a party. After they were now drunk, there was a request by public demand. Let Samson come. And they said, let him come and do us sport. In other words, they were saying, let him come and entertain us. So he was called. So he was made to dance. And they were celebrating and sacrificing to their gods that had delivered them from this guy. Samson, for the first time, he was never born to be an entertainer. He's not a comedian. He cannot dance for the first time. And when he's dancing, he has to be very careful. You don't go beyond the stage. You can't even see. And they were laughing at him, the man that was once so powerful, simply because of a principle that he couldn't keep. He's blind. And the Bible, these are the two verses that I read for you now. Now his hair was growing again. So when we talk about the hair, we are talking about the power, which means the power that you lose in ministry at some point, if things are done properly, the power can be recovered, but it's very difficult to recover sight. And my question is, the Philistines, were they not paying attention? Were they not observant enough to realize that, look, the hair is now coming out? Why were they not paying attention to the hair? They knew that power without vision is useless. So the devil will never be scared and afraid of you as long as it is just power increasing. The devil is afraid of a visionary, a man that can see. Power versus vision. Power versus vision. Power versus vision. They were no longer paying attention to the power. Actually, they were using the power to grind. So don't think what you need now is more power. You need a better vision. Can you see, pastors, that no matter how much you get anointed, it's very easy for the enemy to turn that power into a sport? Where most guys that act as if they are anointed, all they are doing is just sport. There are men of God like that. The way they do it, it's like a sport. Oh, Jesus. My God, my God. Can I tell you something? Many men of God, the more they get the grace, the more entertaining they become. Church becomes like sport. Do you know there are certain people, when they prophesy, you feel the weight. When miracles are happening, you feel the weight. Even when you leave the service, you always talk about it. It's amazing. But with certain people, you see it happening, it takes 5 seconds. People are talking about something totally different. It has become like a sport. The way they do the work of God, it makes it so cheap. So cheap. So cheap. Now you know what has been happening. Some of you South Africans here, men of God, women of God, some things that have been happening in the body of, so-called body of Christ. What men of God, what so-called men of God can do to bring disgrace to this office. We are now appearing like jokers now. You see, a man of God is like a joke, like a clown. What is all that? What is all that? Because all that we seek to do now is to entertain people. So if there is power and there's no vision, all that you do during your service is entertainment. Church becomes sport, just jumping up and down like frogs.